Welcome, please, Daniel Radcliffe. As I said, you could not have ventured further from that make-believe world to the terrible reality of World War I. Before we get into explaining it, is that your own moustache?
No.
No.
I've been trying desperately to grow a moustache that handsome for years, but it's never succeeded. No, it wasn't. It was stuck on, and it just looked... By the time we got to the end of the trenches, it just looked like a drowned rat.
But of course, I mean, the boys in those days did grow taches. I mean,
Yeah.
It was part of the officer's equipment, in a sense. And you have to remind yourself all the time that these were children. These were 18, 17-year-old boys, you know. I mean, I didn't realise until I saw that film that in fact, your father had to get permission in World War I for you to go over the top.
Yes.
When you were 18 years of age.
Yes, he did. I mean, I think part of Jack's growing a moustache is, you know, when you're an officer and you know, from Jack's background, you would be, you know, about Jack's age, about 18, and you'd be commanding men often 10 years your senior.
Sure.
So you'd want to give a sense of sort of looking older than you are, in a way, I suppose.
No such thing as teenagers, were there then?
Well, no, I mean, I think it was... You were in school, and then you were an adult. And there was not really the concept of we have today of being a teenager didn't really exist to the same extent then.
Mm. Let's talk about the story, a true story. Rudyard Kipling, an amazing man, a brilliant writer, a celebrity in his day. I mean, a hugely influential man.
He was sort of the first global celebrity, in a way, because he was famous the world over. He sort of started that. And he was, you know, he was one of the great orators of his time, and he was an incredible, you know, a very strong advocate of the First World War. And Jack, his son, had very, very serious myopia, but obviously wanted to go to war because it was what his father believed in, obviously, but it was also he very much believed in the war and he wanted to get out there. And so the film, from my character's point of view, is about the struggle to get into the army, and once he's in there, becoming the man that his father always wanted him to be.
Yes. It's a very powerful film. It's going out on Remembrance Sunday, and I mean, I highly recommend it. Recommend seems the wrong word to use about a film like this, but but it's very, very powerful, and it's very, very moving, and it's about the ultimate tragedy between a child and his father, really, because that's what it is. Kipling went from being the advocate for a war to being a man bitterly opposed to war in many senses because of that, and penned that famous line. What was it? When they ask you why you died,
tell them because our fathers lied.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, his writing changed a great deal after Jack's death, particularly on the subject of the war. I mean,
let's now cut to the action, because all right, so you've got this serious eye problem, you can't see a thing, and yet you end up commanding a company, a platoon, in Loos, the Battle of Loos, right, at the beginning. I mean, as I said in my introduction, you couldn't imagine a more opposite end of the acting spectrum than you've chosen there. That very serious subject. Are you distancing yourself from Potter? Is that the idea?
It's not so much distancing. It's just you know, because I'm incredibly proud of Potter and I love doing the films, but it's just about trying to make as many people as possible see me as an actor rather than a character, which is a very long process, I know, given the empire that is Harry Potter. But no, I mean, it's something you know, it's a challenge that you actually look forward to, and you mean you can go out there and pick roles like Jack Kipling or Alan in Equus and things like that, and really just take the risk.
But how protective are the film company about their product, about Harry Potter, about the eternal teenager? I mean, you know, I mean, you're in Equus, you take your kit off on stage.
Yeah.
You know, you are start naked. I mean, they think, oh, Harry Potter.
I mean, it's Warner Brothers have always been totally supportive of things like Equus and like My Boy Jack, because I think they know that it, you know, deep down, doing other things will only get Potter even more publicity. Not that it needs more, but you know, it just and yeah, and I think they also realise that by going off and doing something like Equus or doing something like My Boy Jack, that when I come back to Potter, I'll have learned from these different experiences, and I'll actually be, hopefully, touch wood, a better actor for it.
When you realised you had to take your kit off for Equus, was that a difficult decision to make?
Not particularly. You just, it's in the script.
Oh, sure.
So you just do it.
So anything that's in the script, you do it?
Well, that depends whether I've said yes or no to the script. But, yeah, I mean, that wasn't ever really... I mean, obviously I was nervous, because I think anybody
Did you
would
seek
be.
advice on it from someone?
From Gary Oldman, actually, yeah, because I think he's done it a couple of times. So I said to him, what's it like? And he just said, the first night you'll be terrified, the second night you'll be terrified, and then after that you won't care. And that's more or less what happens. You just get so accustomed to it, and you just sort of have to think, I'm never going to see any of these people again.
Were there any of your fan base out there, the ladies?
Oh, quite a few,
Well,
yes.
Did they gasp?
Possibly inaudibly. In fact, on the night Joel Rowling came and saw the play, someone actually threw an owl at the stage. Not a real one, but that would be hideous. But they threw a stuffed owl at the stage, and I was, for a second, I knew she was in. For a second, I thought, no, it's not her. I can't have thrown it.
What about I mean, you were, what, 11 when you joined the cast
Yes.
of Potter, and you're now, what, 17?
18.
18 now. So it's been 7 years. So in a sense, I mean, you've grown up on the film set, haven't you?
Yeah.
But what's your feeling about that? I mean, what
It's
is
been
it like?
great.
Has it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
really?
been fantastic. I mean, I've kind of got nothing to compare it to, because I don't know what it is so much to go to school through those years. Obviously, I was tutored on set, but I didn't go to regular school. But, yeah, I think there's fewer things that are quite as fun as being a 12-year-old kid on a film set with all the stuff that you can do and just go wrong, and say, it's all just that I was totally hyperactive as a child, and I've retained a lot of that, and it's just great fun. And I've met some people who hopefully I'll know for the rest of my life through the films.
Because, I mean, there was that inevitable reaction to, when you were given the job at 11 years of age, knowing it would be a long-running franchise, oh, there goes his childhood. I believe somebody said that.
Somebody did say that, yes.
Yeah. But that's not been the case.
I mean, again, I've got nothing to compare it to, but it's
been
also
a different kind of childhood.
If you say to someone, what's a normal childhood, it's incredibly hard to define. So, for me, I've had, a very happy and healthy and, kind of different, but great childhood.
You weren't happy at school, though, were you, before you went to...
School was quite hard. I mean, I didn't particularly... It was just one of those things where I was rubbish at sports, and I wasn't particularly good at academics, and you just start to feel that you don't stand out at anything, and so that, I suppose, can get you down in some ways. But that's how my first ever job came about, was, in fact, the first time I auditioned for something, which was David Copperfield, it was mainly so I could have had an experience that no one else in my class would have had. So it was something that, none of us expected me to get it. And it came as a great surprise, but I'm really glad I did.
Now, you've got this, you're doing the next Potter film, which is what, the 6th?
Yes.
The 6th. And the revelation, of course, that old Dumbledore's gay.
Yeah, I know, that was hilarious.
I know. Does it make a difference on the set now, the way that Michael plays it, Michael Gambon?
Well, he's been camping it up around the set like nobody's business. But not in the film, although we actually did film a scene the other day, and I'd like to emphasise at this point that the script was written before this revelation, and I don't think Steve Clovis had any prior knowledge, but there is a scene the other day where Michael had to come in and say to another character and tell him how much he loved knitting patterns. By coincidence, which he just adored saying that, yeah.
So, I mean, well, all the best with your future career, and let me say to you that I think you can all be very proud of My Boy Jack. I really do. It's a fascinating and very moving story, and yeah, be proud of it. Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed.
Daniel Radcliffe, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.